drug lord escaped prison through a
Registró la fuga de Joaquín Guzmán Loera.
A drug lord known across the globe, a tunnel that defied all expectations, and an escape that embarrassed an entire nation. This is the story of Joaquín El Chapo Guzmán and his legendary 2015 prison break. El Chapo, leader of the infamous Sinaloa Cartel, was responsible for flooding the world with drugs and causing chaos in his wake. But while his empire expanded, he was also known for something else: his uncanny ability to escape the clutches of the law. Joaquín Guzmán was born in the rural mountains of Sinaloa, Mexico, in 1957. Growing up in poverty, he quickly turned to drug trafficking, rising through the ranks of various criminal organizations. By the late 1980s, he had formed the Sinaloa Cartel, which would go on to become the most powerful drug cartel in the world. El Chapo's organization wasn't just a drug cartel, it was a global operation, smuggling cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, and marijuana into the United States and beyond. His influence was immense, but so was his list of enemies, including rival cartels and law enforcement agencies. This wasn't the first time El Chapo managed to escape prison. In 2001, he pulled off a daring escape by hiding in a laundry cart. After 13 years on the run, he was finally captured again in 2014 and sent to Altiplano, a maximum security prison in central Mexico. Altiplano was considered one of the most secure prisons in Mexico, designed to hold the country's most dangerous criminals. The facility had surveillance cameras everywhere, motion sensors, and constant monitoring of its inmates. El Chapo's cell was monitored 24/7. He was kept in solitary confinement, and even the layout of his cell was designed to prevent escape. The shower area was the only place not covered by cameras to allow for privacy. Despite these measures, El Chapo had a plan. His cartel wasted no time preparing for his escape, even as he sat behind bars. And the escape route they came up with was nothing short of extraordinary. From the outside, it seemed impossible that anyone could break free from such a secure prison. But El Chapo had something no one else did: a team of experts and engineers on the outside who would stop at nothing to get him out. His associates began working on an elaborate tunnel that would stretch from a house over a mile away to right underneath El Chapo's cell. It was no ordinary tunnel. This was a highly sophisticated operation. The tunnel was equipped with ventilation, lighting, and even a customized motorcycle mounted on rails. This allowed them to quickly transport tools, supplies, and the removed dirt from the tunnel. The entire operation took months of meticulous planning. The tunnel was finally completed in July 2015. On the night of July 11th, El Chapo knew it was time. He had just enough privacy in the shower area to make his move. At 8:52 p.m., Guzmán stepped into the shower, out of the view of the cameras. Moments later, he disappeared down a hole in the floor that led directly into the tunnel. Using the modified motorcycle, El Chapo traveled the length of the tunnel, emerging over a mile away from the prison in a construction site. By the time the guards realized something was wrong, El Chapo was long gone. It took over 25 minutes for them to discover the tunnel, and by then he was already miles away, whisked off by his cartel operatives. El Chapo's escape sent shockwaves throughout Mexico and the world. The Mexican government, embarrassed and humiliated, launched a massive manhunt. They brought in the military, special forces, and law enforcement agencies from around the world to find him. But El Chapo had a head start. Despite the intensive search, he managed to stay hidden for months. The escape exposed the deep corruption within the Mexican prison system, as it became clear that officials had either turned a blind eye or were actively involved in his breakout. It wasn't until January 2016, nearly 6 months after his escape, that Mexican authorities finally recaptured El Chapo. A joint operation between Mexican Marines and U.S. law enforcement led them to a house in Los Mochis, Sinaloa, where he was hiding. This time, there would be no chances for another escape. Just days after his recapture, El Chapo was extradited to the United States, where he would face trial for his extensive list of crimes. In 2019, after a highly publicized trial in New York, El Chapo was sentenced to life in prison, plus 30 years, on charges of drug trafficking, conspiracy, and money laundering. He was also ordered to forfeit $12.6 billion, representing the proceeds of his drug empire. Today, El Chapo is locked away in the United States Penitentiary Administrative Maximum Facility, also known as ADX Florence, a prison known as the Alcatraz of the Rockies. He's unlikely to ever see the outside world again. While El Chapo's drug empire continues to operate without him, his 2015 escape remains one of the most incredible prison breaks in modern history. It highlighted the influence of the Sinaloa Cartel and the deep cracks within Mexico's justice system. But beyond the headlines, this escape symbolizes more than just a criminal fleeing from justice. It's a story of power, corruption, and the lengths people will go to maintain control in a world where billions of dollars are at stake. If you found this story as unbelievable as we did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more in-depth stories like this one. And don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep exploring.